All right, folks, Yishai Fleisher here in my Hebron studios. The word Zionism is a beautiful word. It means Jerusalem, means the yearning to return to Jerusalem, the rebuilding of Jerusalem. But now that word is under attack by such erudite characters as JP Sears. He's a comedian and not exactly a great background in Middle Eastern studies. He was some kind of spiritual healer for a while. And then he found his calling in comedy. Sadly, I thought that he was a great comedian and he was a conservative comedian, but now he's attacking me. Now he's attacking Israel and Zionism with all kinds of ridiculous conspiracy theories, which really makes the consumer, let's call it the American watcher, viewer, people like yourselves, he's forcing us to become dumber, okay? He is dumbing us down with ridiculous conspiracy theories, lies, and, okay, I can't say the word anti-Semitism because if you say the word anti-Semitism, they jump and freak out. Let's just call it hate. Let's call it anti-Judaism, anti-Israelism, anti-Zionism, hateism, whatever you want to call it, not anti-Semitism, right? Because he probably has a Jewish friend. But now JP Sears, who I used to watch, has become a dyed in the black anti-Israel guy. And he's making video after video. He seems to be consumed but this all-pervasive Zionist Jewish conspiracy. We're everywhere, according to JP Sears, and this thing that he thinks now is going to get him clicks. Let's watch together and try to debunk some of the crap that's out there right now that's trying to brainwash our clean minds into creating hate and to take away conservative, nationalist, pro-defense, pro-family, pro-Bible people away from the love of Israel. Let's see JP Sears do it.
No nukes coming in. Beautiful day. Yep, not yet. Hey, I've been seeing the Zionist stuff all over, but what's that mean? Zionism, is that a religion, like a form of Judaism? Oh no, it's not a religion, it's a political movement. Became an organized movement in the 1890s with major financial backing from the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds? Yeah, you know, the control banking, world government, secretive global control family. Those Rothschilds?
Oh my gosh, secretive global control family is now totally in control of everything. They're everywhere. This is one of the most pernicious and famous anti-Semitic tropes. The Jews control stuff. That's the oldest anti-Semitism in the book, okay? The Jews are everywhere and they're controlling things. And then he says Zionism is a political movement. What does that mean? The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is a political movement? It's a return movement. It's a repatriation movement. It's a nationalism. It's a rebirth of our peoplehood in our land. Right? Like, I don't even understand what the point is. Well, I know what the point is. It's to try to besmirch the ideas of the Great Return. And that's what he's doing here through the advent of this global reach family. Not to talk about, all the rabbis and all the people, all the men and women throughout the centuries who risked life and limb to move back to the land of Israel before it was a state so that it could reestablish some kind of governance, some kind of sovereignty, some kind of foothold in the Holy Land.
Those Rothschilds. Specifically, it was Edmund D. Rothschild that helped launch Zionism. So it's not the same thing as Judaism? No. What Zionism is runs in opposition to actual Judaism, which technically makes Zionism anti-Semitic when you think about it. But I don't think you're supposed to think about it because that creates problems for powerful people. Okay. So actual Judaism is not Zionism. Correct. Zionism violates the values
let me get this straight.
Of Judaism.
Zionism is somehow, according to the great theologian JP Sears, somehow it's anti-Judaism. Where do you get that? Where do you back that up? What are you reading? The few websites of some fanatics who tried to say that Judaism and Zionism are in opposition. How is that? I mean, the heart of Judaism is the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. So where is he getting this from? And it's like, harum for rumph. I'm so smart. You're so full of crap. There's absolutely no truth to what you're talking about. How is it? First thing, who are you to even talk about what is Judaism and what is Zionism and how they comport or don't comport or how they conflict? What are you talking about? This guy's telling us that Judaism and Zionism don't go together. The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is the heart of Judaism. That's why we Jewish people who actually know what Judaism is are so concerned with this giant and important project, the return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. There is no greater project. This is the 2,000 years in waiting project for us. And you're going to tell us, no, it's actually not related. Please. How silly do you think, how dumb do you think we are that you're going to sell us this bunk?
So they're not the same and kind of very different. I thought Judaism and Zionism just went together. That's confusing. I think it's meant to be confusing. I thought Zionism was biblical. No, it's a political ideology from the 1890s. Judaism is the biblical one. Rothschilds, Zionism. So you're saying it's the same Rothschilds that most of us think control governments around the world?
I thought Zionism was biblical. It is. Read the prophets. Read the book. You know, for all these people that talk about the Bible, they don't seem to have ever read the Bible. Every prophet talks about the return of the Jewish people. Everybody talks about the ingathering. We're living in the ingathering. As I say often, and I say it again, when I was a kid, there was 3 million Jews in the land of Israel. Today, there's over 7 million Jews. We are in the midst of an ingathering. Yes, it is a biblical movement, a promised movement. It's also a political movement. It's also a military movement. It's also an economic movement. It's got all these things because it's such a big phenomenon. It's such a humongous story. And so, yes, it's got all these components, but to separate them out and to say, no, it's actually a political movement. Well, to create a state, you need politics, right? You need wherewithal. You need the abilities. That's the whole point. It's the whole story of Zionism is the re-embodiment of the Jewish people. We're being re-embodied. We were disembodied when we were evicted from our land. Now we're coming back and are being re-embodied. And that's amazing.
Same Rothschilds that most of us think control governments around the world? Yeah, same name, same bloodline. Huh. How would the Rothschilds control the U.S.? You ever hear of Israel? What do the Rothschilds have to do with Israel? They helped create it. They played a very pivotal role in the early development of a Zionist community in Palestine and the eventual creation of the State of Israel. So you think the Rothschilds might have some influence and control over something that they created? Yeah. Maybe. Huh, weird. So why are all the Zionists wanting this war with Iran? Well, what would you say is at the heart of all corrupt power? Well, I'd say the desire to accumulate more power and control at the expense of human welfare. I would agree. I don't know about that.
How stupid do you think we are? The Rothschild family, amongst many other wealthy families, they helped support the farmers. They helped support institutions, just like wealthy people help support hospitals and other institutions in the United States through charitable giving. And the Rothschilds were concerned with the fate of the Jews in places like Russia, where Jews were being annihilated. And so they helped create the infrastructure, farming, teaching of Hebrew language, statecraft, the beginnings of the creation of statecraft, amongst many other families. There's many other families who were involved, and not just families, organizations, pre-IDF organizations, that defense organizations, many other things, hospital organizations, people who bought airplanes so that we could have the beginnings of an air force. There were many, many, many people involved, but to somehow reduce it to this thing and then to be like, they control everything, this whole controlling doctrine. I'm telling you, this is the most classic of anti-Semitic tropes. And it's also so dumb. That's the problem. It's so dumb. It reduces the whole thing from like an amazing history to something like very easy to be like, oh, the Rothschilds, oh, Israel's controlling us all the time. And that's what he's trying to do. And it's just, it's dopey if you listen to it. It's just like, it's simplistic and it has only one goal, which is to make you doubt the beauty and the majesty, the miraculousness, the necessity, all those things of the Jewish state and of Israel. So he's besmirching it through this one family.
I've been hearing a lot of Zionists on interviews lately, Lindsey Graham's doing a lot of them, saying we have to do the war with Iran to protect Israel because God wants us to. What have all parties throughout all religious wars and all of history said was their motive for killing and destruction? God wanted them to. And what about opposing sides in the same religious war? God wanted them to. Both of them. Yeah. Do you think God's schizophrenic? Probably not. Or do you think evil would use the name of God to justify corrupt actions? Suppose it might. But I follow some Zionists online and they don't seem like they have evil intentions. They seem like genuinely good people supporting what they think is good. Yep, I agree. So why would good people support something evil?
How could possibly the war in Iran be a war that is evil? Iran wants to destroy the United States. It states so all the time. It tried to kill President Trump. We know that. That's a fact. We know that they killed 30,000, 40,000 people in their streets that protested them. We know that Iran is an evil regime that has tentacles, that stops world oil from traveling through the Straits of Hormuz. We know that they have proxies. We know that they have bombings all over the world. We know that they control all kinds of drug trade to make money. Went through Venezuela. We know that Iran is a force since 1977 that has wanted to destroy liberty and freedom. And we know that they're in bed with China and with Russia and with an axis that wants to undermine the United States. So here's JP Sears being like, oh, Israel's manipulating and creating an evil war against Iran. But it's exactly the opposite. Israel's helping the United States finally fight a war against a real evil axis that includes China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and Venezuela, the way it was before. In any case, this is a real evil axis. We know what they want to do. We know they want to take over the world. We know that they want to use, drugs to make a lot of money and also to pacify local populations. We know that they have brutal methods. We know that the Iranian people don't like them. So here's JP Sears flipping the pot on its head and telling us that actually Israel is causing America to fight an evil war and calling it good. I mean, it's exactly the opposite. He's right now a proponent of no action against this regime, which really, together with these other forces that I mentioned, wants to undermine the United States, wants to undermine freedoms, and also, of course, endangers Israel as well, which is a key ally to the United States. So again, he's flipping the whole story on its head.
Well, because of weaponized morality. Weaponized morality is when evil movements convince good people that the good thing to do is the bad thing. But they use lies, deception, and manipulation to convince people that the bad thing is the good thing. Weaponized morality. I don't know about that. Like, has that ever happened before?
Exactly right. That's exactly what's happening here. Weaponized morality. He said it, and he is telling you exactly what he's part of. He is part of weaponized morality, lies, deception, and turning the truth on its head. That's exactly what JP Sears is doing in this very video. Okay, and you got to wonder, what is the motivation of people like this? Is that he's just a simpleton who's bought into the Tucker narrative? Is it because he's being paid by China, Qatar, Russia, one of these players? Is it because he is secretly some kind of a cult person and therefore hates the Jews because of his previous past in the studies of so-called spirituality? Is it because some Jewish agent of his or something didn't work out well? Like, where's this all coming from? Where's this all coming from? And it's like a disease, a mental disease that has corrupted even this guy, who I thought was normal and smart, but is now turning out to be a promulgator of hateful narratives.
Do you know why German citizens turned in their neighbors? Well, probably because they just wanted to do something really bad and evil. No, they were told that's the good thing to do. Oh, yeah. Get this deadly shot to protect everyone around you. It's the right thing to do. Or you have to burn down buildings in downtown Portland because that's the right thing to do. Or we have to censor speech online because that's the right thing to do. And here we are. Most of them aren't bad people. They're good people that fell for it. Yeah, I used to believe that whole climate crisis thing. Yeah, I fell for that one too.
What does all this stuff have to do with Israel? What does that have to do with it? Okay, we can have a discussion about the vaccine and Israel's part in that. Okay, we can have a discussion about that. And I myself have certain skepticism about all that. But certainly to talk about some kind of like global world evil conspiracy in Israel, it's exactly the opposite. All these dark forces want to destroy Israel. And Israel's this light that wants to send health and welfare and tourism and business and education to our whole region and to the world. It's dark forces that want to destroy Israel. It's these left forces, they're the ones that he mentions, they're the ones that have always been anti-Israel. Don't you see, JP Sears, that you're lining up with all the people that you espouse to hate? You're lining up with them because all of those forces on the globalist left, they hate Israel. And so I'm surprised that you don't see the conflict in that. You're actually supporting their narrative, the hateful narrative, the ones that want to destroy Israel and America, the ones that want to undermine all of morality, the ones that want to undermine borders, they're the ones that want to destroy Israel as well. Don't you see that?
People can just be stupid sometimes. But man, I get what you're saying with all this. But I just think if you look at the Bible and with the end times prophecy in Israel,
the climate people are all against Israel. Don't you know that? Don't you see? Look at Greta Thunberg. She was environmentalist green, and she turned in a second into jihadist green. Don't you see that when you go anti-Israel, you're lining up with the environmentalist folks?
Being God's chosen people, it just makes me think that what's going on with the war with Iran, there just might be something biblical to that. You're referring to dispensationalism, not the Bible. Dispensationalism doesn't come from the Bible. It's a radicalized, literal interpretation of the Bible.
Why do we have to talk about end times prophecy and chosen peoplehood? Let's just use categories that nobody wants to use that are just so simple. Ingathering of the exiles. Is there an ingathering of the exiles of the Jewish people to the land of Israel? The answer is definitively yes. Okay, I don't need chosen people. We can argue what the chosen people means. It certainly means the Jewish people have been a special people in this world and are probably chosen to channel God's knowledge and his blessing into this world. And we've been doing that for all of our existence. Okay. But those are, sometimes that term is not comfortable for everybody. Let's use a term that makes perfect sense for everybody, which is ingathering of the exiles, the rebuilding of Jerusalem. Regarding end times prophecy, I don't know about end times prophecy. I know that we are prophesied and promised to rebuild our third commonwealth, and we're doing that. I don't know about end times. That's a category which I don't feel comfortable with that kind of language. I feel comfortable in creating a Jewish state to defend the Jewish people, to establish a spiritual kingdom, to broadcast God's knowledge into this world. I don't know if that's end times, but that's certainly great times that we're living in.
Dispensationalism doesn't come from the Bible. It's a radicalized, literal interpretation of the Bible that comes from the Scofield Reference Bible, not the Bible. What's that? It's a book written and published in 1909 by a guy named C.I. Scofield in order to spread Zionism. And they got it to be very influential over Christianity with its new, made-up interpretations of the Bible. It's got a strong emphasis on literal Israel being God's chosen people, and it strongly pushes prophecy and end-time interpretations that aren't present in traditional biblical interpretations, but are very important pieces of Zionist propaganda. Well, what kind of new interpretations did this Scofield guy introduce? Well, before him, almost everyone saw Israel and church to be the same thing, as in God's chosen people are the ones that go to church. That makes sense. But Scofield comes along and draws a big distinction between the two, separating them, making it so Israel no longer includes churchgoers, and therefore churchgoers are not God's chosen people. So according to him, just people in literal Israel are God's chosen people. Like God is racist against everyone who's not from the state of Israel.
All right. So, I've never read the Scofield Bible. I just read the Jewish Bible, which doesn't include the Christian texts. And in simple terms, the ingathering has been prophesied and promised. And it's not a question of interpretation. It's a question of, do you try to replace the Jewish people and say that the Jewish people as a people, the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are not going to be ingathered, or are they? And about 250 years ago, this idea of Christian Zionism came about, which is that these Christian Zionists, they saw, and many people who read the Bible, they don't need an interpretation of this or that. They just understand that there is a peoplehood and that we have a duty to help restore them to the land. A, to clean up the crimes of anti-Semitism and persecution of the Jews that happened over the ages, and B, to fulfill the promise of God and to help God fulfill his dream of ingathering the exiles and establish a spiritual commonwealth in the land of Israel to build that third temple. And that's the promises of the Bible. And then people who love the Bible, at that time, those type of people were called Christian Zionists or Restorationists. And they may be called many different names. I just think that they love the Bible and they love God and they believe in God's word. God's word, it doesn't need a lot of interpretation. You could read it in various forms. It's all gonna lead to the same clarity, which is, yes, there is a time where it could be fulfilled, the ingathering of the exiles, and people from the British Empire We're very instrumental, Christian Zionists, we're very instrumental in using the power of that empire. And people from the American empire have been very instrumental in helping Israel come about. And those people should be blessed. They are blessed. And there's nothing tricky about that. There's no conspiracy theory about that. The only conspiracy theory is that what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. It's not some boogeyman behind the scenes. There's no trickiness. Nobody's pulling one over on you. God said that he would ingather the Jewish people to the land of Israel, and it's happening. It's happening through a Jewish state. And you know what? Statecraft is imperfect. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of mistakes. But there's something also very beautiful about it. It's actually one of the most beautiful things in the world. It is the most beautiful thing, the rebuilding of Jerusalem. And that's prophesied, and everybody can read it, as we say in Hebrew, black on parchment. You know, you can read it in the Bible. And most people that love Israel are those that their mother or father read them the Bible and they see it as happening. And they see it, it's no doubt to them. It's like, yes, it's been promised, and here's Israel. And that's the other big challenge that people like JP Sears and people like Tucker are doing over and over again. Their main contention is, amongst many contentions, right? They're all their classic anti-Israel and anti-Jewish tropes. These Jews are not the Jews. This Israel is not Israel. There's all kinds of evil conniving behind it. And then there's pedophilia and this, that, and Epstein, this, that. They throw in all these things. And they with all their small garbages, they try to hide the big, awesome picture, which is the return of the Jewish people in the ingathering, the building of Jerusalem, the fact that it's prophesied, and the fact that those people who bless Israel are blessed. And that's something that's also obvious and overt. And it's a shame that a good guy like JP Sears has turned to the dark side. He will gain in the short term because anti-Semitism is always popular in the short term, but in the long term, he won't be blessed through this, and his audience will not be blessed through this, and the United States will not be blessed through these lies and this darkness and this the opposite of the Bible. And he's telling us what Judaism is and what the Bible is. JP Sears is seriously going to be telling us that Zionism is not Judaism and that the Bible, in order to get a pro-Israel sense from the Bible, you need just dispensationalism. This guy is not a theologian, okay? He's not a theologian. He's a guy who wants clicks. He's a guy who's succumbed to the dark side. He's a guy who's not bringing blessings into the world anymore, but rather bringing the opposite of blessings. And that's not what you're going to get here at Yishai Fleisher TV, where we channel blessings from Jerusalem, from Hebron to the world. And yes, proudly talking about the God of Israel and Zionism. And if you feel yourself proud to be a Zionist, just write a big T-shirt and a flag, say, proud to be a Zionist, proud to be a Zionist, proud to be with God in his story. Okay, proud to be on the other side from the dark side. And that's exactly what we're doing here. And by the way, we're building Israel as well. We beautify and restore biblical sites. We create the biblical highway. We teach Bible around the world because Israel is the capital of the Bible. And it's all coming out. And if you want to be part of that building process, then join me at buildisrael.com, where we do all that, including helping rebuild Hebron and our partner, hebronfund.org. And also, if you love the show, please visit us at buymeacoffee.com/Yishai. All right, folks, JP Sears is not sending you blessings, but I am sending you blessings from the land of blessings and heart from the heartland of the Holy Land. God bless you wherever you are, and shalom.